Time to check in after a month of using these. Hi everybody, today I am going to be checking in with my power sheets. This is the end of January, January 28th. It was the day I scheduled to work on these to get January kind of wrapped up and February planned out. Hopefully it won't take very long. They do suggest that you only spend like maybe 20 minutes doing it, so hopefully it won't take that long. But as I have to talk at you and do it myself, it may be a little longer than that, but we'll see how it goes. So this is January, so let's look at the things I had to do this month. I'm gonna cross off the things I actually did. This all went well. We did this, but we did not do these two things. Didn't do this, did this, haven't done this yet, but I'm hoping to do this tomorrow and Wednesday. I did do this, and I did some of this. And then we did a lot of this. I didn't get everything, but I did get some of this stuff. So let's take a look. I didn't go back into my power sheets last week, so I haven't actually finished filling these out yet, so I probably can do that right now. Prepare all receipts, have not done that yet. Go out with Jesse, just us, on a date. We did do that, so I need to fill that in. Sit down with Jess to make a monthly budget. We did some of that, not all of that. Plan Q1, got that done. Schedule 2019 days off, have not done that yet. I did do this. The business spreadsheet, monthly numbers audit, no, but that's on my list for this week. Set no electronics time, we have not done that yet, except for dinner time. So I'm gonna fill in half of that. And then brainstorm family fun ideas, we did that. I mean, we didn't get a huge list, but we got a decent sized list. So updating budget with cash in and cash out, that was not something I've been good at this month yet. I have not done any decluttering. It was actually a lot rougher of a recovery of from my surgery than I expected when I did all of this planning. And having my left arm be useless for a good chunk of this month made that really difficult. So I'm not hating on myself for not working on that. I did work on this though each week. I just did not fill it in. I did also cook with arugula every week so far. The only week I have not cooked with it yet is this week that we're in now, but I will be doing that. Meal plan for the week. I managed to do that every single week. Just need to do it for this week. And reconcile spreadsheet. I did not do that every single week, but I did do that on this one. Some of these I made progress on, some of them not so much. No electronics time. I didn't really mark that in because except for dinner time, we didn't really, it still was a work in progress, and I obviously did not spend too much time checking my power sheets, and I only meditated once. So I would say mixed results. Mixed results in terms of how January went. And I put this in here to fill it in. I'm gonna fill this in with my husband this week, but I still haven't done that yet. I did, however, create this reading list for books I want to read for the year. I ordered some of these wild cards from the company rather than printing them out because why not? So let's go into the month in review. I'm gonna fill this out and then we'll talk about it. Used a few stickers from the goal setting sticker book. I actually didn't have this when I originally set this up. I got it later because I wanted it and added stickers. And I used my Sprocket to print this picture of Loki, which we'll talk about in a second. So for the month in review, this month I'm especially grateful to my husband because he was fucking amazing during my surgery and this whole month after my surgery, both in helping me and reminding me that it was okay to ask for help. He was phenomenal and I am so lucky. I feel like I'm doing okay on some of my goals. The two I think I did the most, had the best progress on, my cat is flipping out over there, were the veggies. The arugula experiment was a success. We found recipes we loved. This next month it's going to be cauliflower. And my business finances. I took the big step of, and it's right here for things I'm celebrating, downloading QuickBooks and getting all my stuff imported in and really looking at things to start getting ready for taxes. I didn't get as much progress as I wanted, but I'm happy with the progress I made. The other two people I'm grateful for this month was my sister. As I went through the fistula surgery, the dialysis access surgery, she'd already been through it. And so when I had questions or I was stressed out, and there's been many times this month where something has happened and I have freaked out, I call my sister, she talks me down. So that was so helpful. And my son, both my kids are great and they were great during the surgery, but my son was actually at the hospital with my husband. I have a video where I talked about it. I'll link that in the cards up above. We wound up being at the hospital quite a bit longer than we expected to because my surgery had some complications, and he did phenomenal at the hospital, and I am proud of him for not only holding it together, but being a champ at a time when my husband didn't want to worry about both him and me, And RJ was such a badass at the hospital that Jesse was able to focus on me and not have to worry about RJ. And I appreciate that. My kid is growing up. Tear. I'm choosing grace over guilt about feeling useless after surgery. Like, that's really a big part of it. This whole month, every time I can't do something as simple as put my crock pot away. And I still have trouble with that. It really, really stresses me out, makes me feel terrible about myself. And so I'm trying to choose grace, I guess, over that instead of being guilty. I already mentioned this. My favorite memory for the month is about my cat and this spider. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw it in my Instagram stories. There was this giant ass spider on my door that I didn't even see at first and that Loki was going after. And I wound up sliding the cat tree over to try and get him to get it because I'm terrified of spiders. It was a whole thing. It actually was not this one, but a different picture was my favorite picture for January in my bullet journal. You can see that in my February bullet journal setup, which I'll link right now. But yeah, there were so many things that happened this month, but this little thing was ridiculous and it just cracked me up. And I will probably think about it for quite some time. Life with a wacky cat. A good lesson I learned came from my husband, and it was to say thank you instead of I'm sorry. The number of times this month I said I'm sorry to my husband when he had to help me with something that I couldn't do on my own. So many times. And he got to a point where he told me he didn't want to hear me say I'm sorry anymore. He said, why don't you try saying thank you instead of I'm sorry? And so then the next time I'd start saying I'm sorry, he would remind me over and over. It says I've learned it. I don't know if I've learned it yet, but I'm working on it. What I'm saying no to next month, new church commitments. What I'm saying yes to next month is at least one unscheduled Saturday, and I used a top priority sticker, and right now the first Saturday in February is that Saturday. There may be only one other Saturday in February that could potentially be that Saturday. We're gonna try and keep it that way this week, and then I can get that out of the way right off the bat. So that is my month in review. So now we're gonna move to February, and the first thing we're going to do is the Let It Go page, what's stressing me out, fears I have, and I'm hopeful that. It was a lot easier to fill this out last month because I was worried about the surgery. I don't have as easy pickings, right? But that's what we're gonna work on right now. So I'm gonna fill this out. We'll talk about it when I'm done. It's stressing me out. There's quite a bit here. My space is stressing me out. It looks like a bomb went off. Hopefully there's something going to be done about this month. I have some stuff in the pipeline that might help with that, but we'll see. Taxes. Notice I colored this in. Fucking taxes. Every year taxes stress me the fuck out. Will my arm ever feel better? Holy crap. It still fucking hurts. Like, I can do stuff with it. I can't do as much stuff with it, and I have no idea what stuff is permanent and what stuff is just gonna take forever. My sister told me that her arm didn't stop hurting unexpectedly or somewhat regularly for months after the surgery, and I'm like, damn it. So we'll see. For the fears I have and what's stressing me out, I had a CT scan done recently on my kidneys, and I'm getting new blood work done and talking to my kidney doctor next week. And both of those things are both stressing me out, and I'm afraid. I'm worried that the results I get are gonna show how much worse I've gotten, or that it's gonna impact the work I'm doing at the transplant centers. I get this way every time I have a kidney doctor appointment. My doctor is phenomenal, but it's one of those, like, you know, anticipating the other shoe dropping on your head kind of situations. I should have added in January. I'm gonna do that because I didn't even think about it. Another progress I celebrated, I went on Zoloft, which meant I was actually seeing someone to talk about my health. And so we're gonna talk, that's another thing I'm keeping up on in the next couple of weeks to find out how it's helping. Setting up routines, that always stresses me out because I worry I'm gonna go through all of this and then it's not gonna work. And then energy, having enough energy this month to do a plan as you go month, because it's always takes a little bit out of me, and as I've been feeling crummy, I wanna do it. Trust me, don't tell me, Cindy, don't bother. I want to do it. So if it doesn't work, I'm going to make the promise to myself to stop and to not feel bad about it. I'm gonna try, so we'll see. And then a big fear I have is really using a budget. We did a little preliminary work in January, but because of the surgery, I didn't spend a lot of time talking to Jesse about it at the beginning of the month. This next month, we're gonna try and hit the ground running. And I'm a little afraid for various reasons. And then things I'm hopeful for, that we can get a routine into place, that would be great, and that I can catch up on work, on life, on everything. Because I feel like I'm constantly behind right now because of losing, you know, a couple weeks at the beginning of this month. Here is the things that are coming this month. I've got my calendar open in front of me, and I'm going to get my list together. There's a lot of shit this month too. February is busy. Busy, busy, busy. Here's my list. It's actually nowhere near as much as last month, but whatever. This is just some stuff off of the top of my head. On my calendar this month, plan as you go, like I said, all this month. And it's also something I'm excited for, like I said. My kid has a retreat to go to and is doing tech in the school musical, which is this month. Another thing that I'm excited about. I'm doing Live Plan With Me. I have my first time as the Sunday service assistant at church, which is a newer commitment that I took on a while back, but I hadn't gotten around to doing it yet. And that doesn't count in my saying no to new commitments because it's something I have been looking forward to for a long time. And it's well within the scope of what I'm capable of. My son has an all-day thing at the high school for band, which happens every year. They call it vertical articulation. It gives you a chance to see band from 5th grade through middle school and then through high school, so you can see how you improve as time goes on to encourage the kids to want to stick with band. And then there's a workshop at the beginning of the month that my church is holding about unconscious biases, just trying to help us address those so we're more open to whoever shows up as our new candidate. Our important to-dos this month: scheduling budget sit-downs for the whole year and doing our days off, something we should have done this month and we didn't. I have to pay the water bill, which is important for us because it's every other month, and if I don't pay attention, I forget. Getting my tax shit to get all ready so that we can just get the taxes done. Paperwork for that retreat. Picking a song for a sermon I'm doing in April so my quartet has something to rehearse, and reading this book for church. I said I was excited about my son, about the musical, and about Plan As You Go. I'm also excited that my son also has a concert in February. Middle school concerts are both stressful and fun, so I am excited. And we're having a meeting sometime in February, they're still scheduling it, about the next step in youth programming for our church, because we have a middle school class with my kids in high school, and then there's a group of them that are going to be moving into high school soon, and so we need another kind of situation. And it's going to be a collaborative meeting between the parents, church staff who handle RE, and then the incoming kids. We all going to talk about it. It's going to be fun. That's what February is looking like. So now it's time to brainstream all of the things I want to cultivate or accomplish this month, goals I want to take action on, habits, blah, blah, blah. And then I have to go through, simplify, and prioritize them. This will go to the tending list. The stuff that I'm really pulling off of here is some work-related stuff, some house-related stuff, and some church. It's all basically all the categories. So we're gonna move on to here, and I'm gonna take 2 wild cards for this month. I'm gonna do one calendar one and one organization one. And what I'm going to do here is do kind of an overview of my month. It's not, I have my Google Calendar for that, but this is just to really look at how my month is being plotted out and where can I prioritize the items on my list. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. As in, if I want a date night, which is something I want this month, I'm gonna put in on this calendar where I would like that date night to be. If it is there, if I have to move it, then whatever. But to say, like out loud, this is where my date night is going to be. So I'm gonna date this calendar really quick, and then we will move to the other page, and I'll work on this at the same time. Encouraging words for February. So here at the top of the page, I have my encouraging words. Now, I looked online. I know this is a quote. I've seen it attributed to a lot of people. As far as I could tell, the original person was Annie Lamott, but if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. The encouraging words, though, is no is a complete sentence. That's what I want to keep in the front of my mind as I work this month. And my top priority is work-life harmony. I don't think balance is necessarily achievable, but if things feel like they're in harmony with each other, that could be better. And with my focus in February of trying to set up routines, having our life kind of fit into certain rhythms to help establish work hours and things like that. That's what I'm working on this month to try and bring my life into a little bit more harmony. So monthly action items. All right, I'm gonna color code all of these and I'll talk about them while I do it. So when it comes to developing a healthy family financial practice, I have being our tax prep, because even though that's business, we pay taxes jointly, so I consider that family. Scheduling times to sit down with our budget, update budget, and that is everything that has to do with that particular goal. Oh, I forgot one. Whoops, I forgot one. Monthly budget meeting, that's the other one. Now for creating a healthy and sustainable business picture, I need to do my monthly planning, reconcile my business spreadsheet, and that's that. Now my next goal is strengthening our family relationships, and for that one, I have scheduling our 2019 days off, planning together as a family. I want to incorporate that into our routines this month, having like a 1 day a week where we all sit down together and figure our shit out. No electronics time, and those are the things for that particular aspect of our life. The next goal is treating my whole self, mind and body kindly, cooking with cauliflower, meal planning, headspace. Hopefully we'll do this better this month than last month, and walking for 20 minutes. What did I call power sheets last month? I don't remember where I kind of categorized that. I guess I categorized that with treating myself kindly as well. It could go in a couple of different places, I guess. It could go with business, it could go with whatever, but I think that that works. The next goal is to nurture a healthy and loving marriage, and I've got date night. And then fostering more quiet space. And I'm actually going to put this planning the 9:30 a.m. through June. It's for my church, it's something that I'm in charge of, because in part of that I want to delegate some of it, and that will help me have a little bit more quiet space in my life. The next goal is to create an environment that I'm proud of, and that one would be cleaning and organizing my office, decluttering a section of my closet, and then finally the last goal that I have is to establish a more balanced work life. We have work that I'm doing in a program that I'm in right now, and I have that both monthly because there's one project I need to get done this month, but then there's also weekly stuff that's happening as well. Also doing an audit of my numbers on YouTube and everything else to kind of see where things are. So this is a month at a glance. Every single goal is represented. I would say that my relationship goal has the least amount of play here. I have quite a bit more space kind of elsewhere, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. So now that I've done this, I want to do a couple of things. I want to mark which one of these is my top priority, like top priority of all of these this month. Tax prep is one of those top priorities most excellently. And another must do, I would say, would be getting the family budget times done, because that will be for the rest of the year. And so for that, that's what I'm gonna put right now. Now with the February calendar, I wanna take a look at this for a second, and I wanna kind of look at how this is gonna be both with this list and with this other list that I made, because there's a couple of things I wanna mark on here. Oh, hi, Mark. So my Power Sheets prep time is scheduled for the 25th, so I'm gonna put that here. Once we figure out where our budget time is gonna be, I will also put that on here, but I don't have it right now. I said that I wanted a day off, like a Saturday with no schedule. We have that on Saturday the 2nd so far. I'm looking kind of at the calendar and I'm wondering when a good date night day would be, and I'm thinking that's gonna be the 7th. It could change. I usually like a Thursday for a date night because it's just a day Jesse doesn't have to stay late at work usually. And every other Thursday we either have custody of the kids or kid activities, or both. Now I would like to try a social media free weekend on this weekend here. So I'm gonna put this sticker here. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. I have to talk to the family about that, but that's what I'm hoping for. And then I'm gonna take this washi tape and I'm gonna run it from the 24th through the 27th, because that's when my kid's musical is. I wanna get that in here just to know, because it's a big deal for us as a family. I should put in vertical articulation for the boy. I'm not sure if this is gonna be useful for me or not, but it's kind of just kind of getting an idea of sort of when things are gonna be, what our month is gonna look like. We'll see. It's interesting, but I don't know how useful it's gonna be for me or not. We'll figure that out. I'm going to put in this organization and decluttering wild card here, because that is something that I wanna work on this year. Last month, I did not start, but hopefully I'll be feeling well enough to at least tackle some of it. We'll see whether or not my arm disagrees with this assertion. So I'm not gonna fill this whole thing out because that's a lot to think about, and I'm not really prepared to think about all of that right now. We're gonna start with my closet. Now, if these go well, I'll schedule in more decluttering over the course of the year. But for right now, those are the two we're gonna start focusing on. So this is my power sheet so far for the year. I used them all this month. I'm still using them. And you're gonna get to see me use these, how I pull them out when I'm working on my planner. every day, maybe not every day, but several times a week, schedule what needs to be done each day. So you'll see that if you're watching Plan As You Go month, which begins on February 1st, every day for the month of February. So if you are not already subscribed, I would suggest subscribing so that you get notified. If you set goals or resolutions at the beginning of January, how are you doing on them? Have you made any progress? Did you kind of stop? Whatever the case may be, let us know. It's a space for us all to talk about it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.